What is it that you truly desire, that you're truly yearning for, that deep yearn that you have inside? That is the pull, that is the catapult, that's what gives you the momentum. That's the conviction that turns into momentum, that pushes you to keep going towards that goal. And when you have a goal, you have to be willing to make detours and make adjustments on your way to the goal, like on your way to where you're going, because it might take longer than you thought, it might cost more money than you thought, and that's just part of the deal. So be willing to make changes, be willing to make detours, but don't change that goal if it's that really deep desire that you have, that deep conviction that you have, that longing, that yearning for something. And when you're longing and you're yearning for that, sometimes that can make it push it farther out, because you're living in the contradiction of what you don't have. You're basically telling your subconscious, I don't have this and I want it so bad, and so you're pushing it farther and farther away. So you have to get in alignment with that. Spirit, body, soul, mind, all of that has to come in alignment. What does that life feel like? What does it feel like to wake up to that as that person or in that life? And it could be as simple as, well, I'll just tell you what mine is what does it feel to have those slow mornings, which I do now, to not be rushed, to not always be chasing or trying to get somewhere. And for the most part, I've created the atmosphere and the life of that on which I truly desire, because I've been putting this into practice since the past couple of years, but really since last year. You have to make space for that. So if you're desiring something different, you have to make space to allow that to come into your life. So if you are, for example, if your home is cluttered, you have to make space for the good that you want, that feeling, because you might be feeling anxious or like, oh, there's too much stuff and I don't know what to do. And when there is disorder, things don't flow. Like your creativeness doesn't flow. Money doesn't flow. It's kinks the hose in every area when your life is out of order, when you've got loose ends, when you've got relationships that are kind of dangling. You need to close some doors. You have to either be in or out, because the limbo stage, that indecisive stage, is a chaotic state. It puts you in a chaotic rhythm, and you don't know, should I keep this? Should I not? Should I go? Should I stay? Should I move forward? Should I not? And every decision is based on either fear of something, fear of not having enough, fear of moving forward, fear of a change, fear of not having the control that you once had. And so you stay in this area and you're like, oh, I'll just do what feels good. I'll just shop, or I'll just go out to eat, or I'll just go do this, or I'll just do what I always did, because it kind of makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel good. And you revert back to the same thing. Well, don't do that in 2026. 2026 could be a life-changing year. And really, you can change your whole life in 3 months. It takes 90 days to just flip things around. Now, you still might be dealing with the residual from the past, even though you've made some progress and made some changes. Like, let's say you're paying off debt and you decide, I'm not going to do this anymore. Well, it might take time to pay it off. So you're still dealing with those past decisions. You still have to pay that off. But you can change in 3 months. You can say, I don't want to live here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to work here. I don't want to have this type of life. I want different results. Like, you have the control to shift those things around you instead of waiting for something to happen to then shift them for you. It's like we're waiting for a big ball to drop. We're waiting for something. We're waiting for the perfect time. We're waiting for something. And I'm guilty of that too. But then I have to be like, no, I'm going to do this regardless of the circumstances. I'm going to do this regardless of the situation, or regardless of the season that the world says I should be in, or whatever. So right now, if you are feeling that way, this is a good time to get your thoughts and get some goals written down, get some things in order for 2026. You've got like 2 weeks till the beginning of the year. What are some changes that you want to make? Reflect on what worked this year and what didn't. And if some of your prayers you feel weren't answered, leave them there until the next year. Like, keep moving. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Don't grow weary. Keep moving. Keep one foot in front of the other. Like, sometimes it's just moment by moment. Sometimes it's just one day at a time. And it's the decisions day in and day out that then build up to a lifetime of success or a lifetime of the results that you want. You don't have to be too far in the future, but use this time to prepare and to get in order on what you want. I want to simplify life even more. I love the holidays, but I get burnt out really quick. And I want to simplify life. I thrive in an orderly environment, and I've learned to live off of faith and not be in control of every situation or every little detail of life, which was really hard for me at first because I like to do that. But I've learned to live off of faith and let God lead and take me and take my desires and take my family and do as he will and take the wheel, I mean, really, it's something that we don't want to do. No, I want to go. I want to know where I'm going. I want to know what the future holds. But faith is kind of like that. You don't really know. Now, he gives you desires and he gives you plans and he deposits things in you. But then he makes the way. He makes things happen. Of your faith builds perseverance. So when you're going through difficult times, he wants your character, your faith to be built. He wants you to stay humble. There's a lot of pride and arrogance right now. People tooting their own horn, saying what they did. And I'm not saying you should be mindful of your accomplishments, because it does take work. It takes hard work. But when you're replacing God's doing with your effort, that's the problem. You're putting yourself up on that pedestal. You're taking the glory for yourself. That's when things fall apart. And that's when, the Bible says that he is a jealous God. Well, you're taking the glory that he's doing it. You're partners with him. So don't get that confused and put yourself in the position where you're the one, it's all about you. You did this, look at me. I mean, the amount of pride and arrogance that I see, and it's just insane. And your life all that you built can go away in one wrong decision, one wrong signature on a contract, one wrong relationship, one bad choice drinking a night out. You could lose everything. So stay humble before the Lord so he can work with you and he can give you wisdom and discernment and guidance so you make good choices and so you move in accordance to his will and in his rhythm for your life. It doesn't really matter how much you have or how fast you're going. If you're going in the wrong direction, you could be going so fast, I'm accomplishing all this stuff, if it's in the total wrong direction that you designed for yourself. And when you have momentum built up in the wrong direction, it gets really hard to change that because the momentum can go against you. And then you don't want that. So stay humble and stay mindful and lean into what he has for you and be willing to make the changes and do the work. Like, what are the things that most of the time, the bondage that we've done to ourselves? Like, it's our decisions. It's not this big, yes, there's spiritual attacks. Of course there's spiritual attacks, spiritual warfare. A lot of it, though, is wrapped up in behavioral patterns. Once we deal with that, the spiritual part can't attach itself to it because we're allowing it, because we continue to stay in this spiritual, we continue doing these same habitual things that are giving us the results we don't want. And then we're like, I'm in spiritual warfare right now. Devil's out to get me. Yes, he is. And yes, you may be. But a lot of the times, you're doing it. He will flee from you when you resist him. And so you submit to the Lord, resist the devil, he will flee from you. Well, if you are giving into those impulses and you're giving into those habits and those patterns, he's got you right where he wants you because you're stuck in a cycle that you can't get out of. And this could have to do with food, could have to do with gluttony with eating, gluttony with shopping, not having self-control with impulse shopping, could have to do with drinking or partying. This could have to do, basically any of those things could destroy your life. So if you don't get those areas in order that are secretly destroying you, like I haven't had one drop of alcohol since last Christmas, and I wasn't a big drinker. I was in my 20s, but not recently. Just champagne around the holidays. But I just thought, I want to be so sober-minded. I want to be so connected. And for me to have that, I just need to get some things off the table. I can't be have a gray area. I can't walk the line with those things. It didn't mean that much to me anyways to say, yeah, I sometimes do, sometimes don't. I will, No, why? Who cares? So I just took it off the table altogether. And you're clear in your mind, you're healthier, and it's just one less thing that I know could cause, like, a couple drinks it's not only going to disrupt my sleep, it's going to disrupt my thinking. Could cause an argument with my husband. It's going to make me it's going to make my workout's not going to be the best the next day if I even work out. Like, it's going to put me behind where I want to be and who I want to be. And so those are just areas that's just something that I just thought, no, I don't need this. I'm going to be using the month of January as a reset, to reposition, to simplify life, to get things in order, to pull back, really just spend some quiet time with God. I want peace. Don't want to always be rushed. And I just want to create that atmosphere. So I'm starting in the home. You can always start in the home. Start with what you have. Start in one area. Give yourself maybe your bedroom. Like, I've got red Christmas bedding on right now. And I'm just kind of over it. I love the red for the holidays, but I just want the one area to just have some peace. So I'm changing it to white and blue maybe tomorrow. Some tan on white. I don't know, something more soft, because I just need a little bit less loud in one area. So there's no right or wrong way, but if you're sensing you just need some peace or some solitude or maybe some quiet time, start with the home. Maybe just clean a closet or declutter, load some donations in your car and drop them off somewhere and get things, in order. Like, I cleaned vents the other day. I wiped the fan blades, got some dust off of there. To me, that's taking care of my space, whether it's big or small, but it's also helping me have some control while God works on other areas in my life that may feel out of control or that I don't have control in. And that's why cleaning and getting your home in order is so therapeutic, because it aligns you in that and it keeps you in the present. And you're taking care of, you're stewarding what he gave you. So it's never wasted time. But use non-toxic cleaners, though. I don't use anything chemicals. They're breathing that in. And I run air doctors. We have 3 air doctors in our apartment, 1 in each room, and we run them 24/7. They're the best things to get rid of VOCs and chemicals and mildew and mold and bacteria and viruses. Keep your air clean. And if your air's outside is clean, this is a great time of year to open the doors and start purifying the freshness of the air, so it doesn't smell. A lot of times homes start smelling stale and old and the clutter, and it's like there's a scent to that. It's like you want to kind of air out the home as much as you can. If you start now, a little bit now, you'll be ahead of most people by the new year. And I'm not saying not enjoy the holidays, of course, and it's the best time of year, Christmas, but just starting to implement some little things here and there that will help you not feel so like, oh, there's so much to do and I have to get all my goals and restart my New Year's resolutions. I got to get to the gym, got to detox. Just start a little at a time. Maybe just walking every day, something that you can implement now that's simple every day. Get started now and continue it through the new year. So it's just a great time to do that.